You know when it's feeling right, right. It must be Angie on the mind.
Good morning.
Yes. You hear the voice. You know who that is. The one
I'll be
and
gone
only.
to November. I'll be gone to November, y'all.
Wyclef Jean is in the building.
Sac up fat. That means what's good.
Sac passe, mon ami.
Na boule, mon ami.
Hey, man, look. Wyclef is here. This is a WKYS exclusive. He said, I'm coming up to the Angie Ange Morning Show before I go back to New York to talk to the people.
Definitely. And everyone that's listening, because, you know, when I sing sometimes, I be like, hey, and all of that, and my voice sound high pitched. And I tell everybody early in the morning I sound like Barry White. And I think now they believe me.
This is the morning voice?
This is the morning voice. It's Wyclef Jean morning voice. I sound like a radio personality.
You do.
How y'all doing this, Wyclef Jean? Wake your ass up in the morning.
No, that was actually really good.
See?
See?
Yeah, man, me want to get some money for some voiceover and ting them, you see?
You could get it. You could definitely, I think you could.
Now you see how I
fine.
got all them voices on the carnival done, right? All them little, like,
different.
yeah, because you know, like, when you in the hood, you bored. Like, all you doing on the block is, like, you imitating people, you know, they coming by, and you just, like, you know, you time pass by, because all you doing is cracking jokes.
Yeah.
So all I used to do is just, like, what is it called? Hike on people, and you like imitating voices all day long.
Oh.
So that's your thing, then. You got you.
Actually, it is my thing. Yes,
You could probably do like a
voices.
Boondocks type
So-
of like make you a character.
So the lawyer on the carnival, all that was you.
The lawyer actually on the carnival, the guy you talk about Bishop, the Bishop that's actually my friend Will.
Oh, that's
okay.
not you.
Will,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Bishop, no bullshit. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, man.
Now, Wyclef, you've been in town for something very special. Like you have a new direction that you're going as far as bringing in the next generation of artists, right?
Yeah, definitely. We're very excited about this. Now we're in 2018.
Right.
So if you go on Spotify, you could download a record by Wyclef called Hendrix. This is now. So for anybody who is waiting for a Fuji album, you could go download that now, and you'll be like, how did this dude get to like 80 million streams so quick? Or you could go, you know, Google Kodak Black singing Lady Haiti from an album called Juve. So there's two things going on. The bridge of the millennials, you know, which is always very important for me. Like Quincy Jones always says, you know, the pulse is in the youth. So after I done ran for president of Haiti, I came back to America. The whole music changed. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
right.
I was like, yo, what's going on here? So literally, the next project is called Wyclef Goes Back to School.
Yeah.
And
I like
how do you
that.
go back to school? You got to go back to the roots. And what's the roots? The roots is the kids. So when you got kids like Young Thug calling his song Wyclef Jean.
Yeah.
And when you hearing it, you like, whack, whack.
Right.
You hear the reggae, and you see how that generation sees you.
Yeah.
And so what happens is, if we reach out to that generation and put it together, and that's what the whole tape's about. It's about putting both generations together. I'm mixing the production with that 97 style, but then the
Nice.
sounds are modern, right? So it's like the trap snare is different. It just sounds very aggressive. The 808s now are totally different than the 808s we used to use back then. Right? My daughter, all she does is wait for the 808 drop. She don't care what the lyric is saying. Once she
wait for
She
the
want the beat.
boom, turn up, boom, hey, turn up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but what makes this dope is when we look at YouTube, like in our era, like Lauryn, when I found Lauryn, she was 14. When they brought Beyonce and Destiny Child and me to sing, I think Beyonce was 16. All of this incredible mystery, right? We didn't have like online yet or any of that.
Right.
So I feel like record companies be like, okay, this person got 20 million views. Let's go after them. But then they might be an Amy Winehouse with 3 views. And you missed out on Amy Winehouse. So that's what, so the whole idea of the Wyclef Goes Back to School is to present a project to you that levels out the playing field.
Right.
Where it's just dope. Like, you don't, you know, someone might have 10 million views and they barring with someone with 5 views, and it's still incredible. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, and you got one of your artists too, Jazzy Amara over here. Say what's up.
How you doing?
We're
Thank
awesome.
you for
We
having
glad
me.
that you could make it out.
Thank you.
So what has your experience been like with Clef and, you know, doing this project?
Well, Clef is definitely a mentor to me. He teaches me so much about the game, about performance, writing, just like the whole vibe being in the studio.
Yeah.
So it's just great working with this icon. Like
Yeah.
it's surreal.
Is he tough on you? Does he kind of say, yo, this how you got to do it? This how things got to work? Like, is he kind of like I was always curious because, you know, Clef he's worked with so many people. So I wonder, like, how does he get the best out of people? I assume he might be kind of just challenging and just like.
He makes sure that I'm on point. Like he's really tough, and that's how it's supposed to be, because like just being easy on somebody and not really showing them the ropes, that's not how it's gonna work. Yeah.
Is it like one of those things where you like, man, if he say one more thing while I'm trying to record up in here, if I got one more,
if I can't finish
like,
this line,
do it again.
No, I actually appreciate it. I appreciate how he is. Yeah. I really do appreciate it. It helps me.
I would love for people to get a little vibe, you know, a little taste of what you do and what you got. So, you know, can we hear a little something? Why Wyclef say, yo, Jazzy and Mark got to be a part of this?
Got you.
Go ahead.
You gonna make a beat, Clef?
Oh, cafeteria style.
Hey. All right. Don't. Okay. We don't even talk anymore. And we don't even know what we argue about. Don't even say I love you no more, boy. 'Cause saying how we feel is no longer allowed. Some people work things out and some just don't know how to change. Let's not wait till the water runs dry. We might watch our whole lives pass us by. Let's not wait till the water runs dry and make the biggest mistake of our lives. Don't do it, baby.
Okay. All right, Jazzy.
Little vibe.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
You have a beautiful voice.
Amazing voice.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, Clef, we see.
That's like, yeah, you know, I just make
Tell
grapes.
the people how they can follow you. Tell them how they can
you
follow
guys
you.
could find me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter at Jazzy Amra, at JAZZYAMRA.
I'm sorry, I was saying Amra. Let me make sure we gotta we get it right. Jazzy
Yes,
Amra.
yes.
No, you're awesome, and
Thank you.
You know, I think it's how awesome is it to be able to be like mentored in this manner where, I mean, you're gonna be ready.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like growing up listening to somebody's music, being inspired by them, and then finally getting to work with the person and for the person to believe in you the way that he does and mentor you. Is just, I just can't explain it.
Sing it on the spot. That's amazing.
That means you're ready, because you talked about with your label that it's also about artist development, which I think is really needed right now.
Yes,
right?
it's
Number
lacking.
one thing.
Number
The
one.
number one thing that I would say, Heads Music. Heads Music is an all-female indie label.
Really?
Right? So me, I'm just like, you know, I'm just a backer. You know, at the end of the day, there's a brilliant CEO. Who by the name of Madeline Nelson came in with her own money in the game, found her own investors, and got it rocking.
Nice.
And then so when I came in, I was like, yo, how can I be part of this? And I wanted to work with her, and she was like, yeah, but can you be an artist on the label too? You know,
Really?
no one could negotiate better than females. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. But so
Speak on
Madeline's whole thing was artist development. She was like, Clef, the same thing you did for Lauryn. Remember when you found Destiny Child, how you gave him a formula, you know, when you got in with Mary J or with Whitney. She was like, I got a slew of young talent, right? So for me, it's like, to find, as a basketball coach who's used to going to the championships with a couple of rings, this is what you look for. Like a team that's a basketball team with that synergy. So I feel like Heads Music definitely got that. And look how exciting it is. Like, y'all like, man, the artist just singing in the spot. Like, artists don't do that no more.
They're afraid.
Yo,
rappers don't
I'll
rap.
be back.
Singers don't sing.
I'll be back.
Oh, come on, man. You know, we don't, you know what I'm saying? You got to pay me to
Not with Heads
freestyle.
Music, it's like the artist development. And you see, I'm out here because at the end of the day, I couldn't like send a tweet and be like, yo, check out my artist.
Yeah.
She's coming. It's like that's so disrespectful to me because the era that I'm from, you got to show up. I got to show up. I got to thank the fans, man. It's like 20-something years later, being like 100 million records. And it's so funny when you was talking about being tough on Jazzy thing.
Yeah.
So there's two stories that come to mind.
Okay.
One, of course, was the Dave Chappelle, right? When we was doing the Dylon spoof, and then he choked me because like you could either make the band or not make the band.
Right.
And so for all like kids that are listening out there that wants to be producers, right? So the producer is not just a beat maker. So I want kids to understand that just because you're doing a beat, it don't mean that you're a producer, right? The producer means like you are the person who actually flies the plane.
That's
like
right.
you literally
architect.
You architect the whole thing. You find a co-pilot and everything, right? And your responsibility is big because at the end of the day, if that person lead a studio and what has to get done ain't done, all of it is on you. So I'm in the studio one day with Whitney Houston, and I get that call, and Whitney's like, okay. I was like, yo, I kept telling Clive Davis, does she like the song? Does she like the song? And he was like, yo, you know, you waiting for that answer. Like, yo, Whitney love the song. I'm like, good. So
This is My Love Is Your Love,
yeah, this
correct?
My Love Is Your Love.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm in the studio with Whitney, and I kid you not, and I'm rocking with Whitney, and it's incredible. She starts to sing my song. I'm tripping out. She don't know. I want to cry, bro. And, you know, because all I could think of in my head is, I believe the children of the future. I knew exactly where I was at in the hood. And as Whitney's singing, My Love's Your Love, she hits a note, right? And the note sounds flat to me.
Ooh.
Now, you got to make a decision. And now this is the greatest, right? Because, you know, it's Whitney and Aretha, R.P. to Aretha.
Yeah.
Right? So Whitney hits a flat note. You saw how silent everybody got. Everyone who's listening like, oh, not our Whitney. So now I stop it, and now I got to make a decision as a producer. Am I going to tell Whitney Houston she flat?
Or am I gonna let her
So
rock?
I hit the control board, and I'm like, Whitney, baby, we got to take this one again. It's a little flat, right? And Whitney was like, 2 seconds went by, and she was like, baby, it's not flat. I bent the note.
Ooh.
Right? And I went back and I listened. Whitney was such an incredible singer. She bent the note a certain way in My Love Your Way, like the way you bend a guitar, and she pitched it right back because that's how her ear was hearing it, right?
Wow.
And now the producer learns from the artist. So it's always a vice versa thing. So as much as I be pushing the artist, they push me back the same way.
Wow.
And that's what's incredible. Like I never let, because if I see her like she's in a vibe, like I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm here. You know, when you need me, I'm right here.
Yeah.
And I think the magic of when you're looking for good magic, there got to be a synergy with both. Like, so when you find the right artist and the producer, it's like finding the right player and the coach. It works together. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So that's what's going on here. You know
Yeah, no, absolutely. We got story time right now on the Angie Ange Morning Show. Another story I'm curious about, like I heard that with Beyonce with the No 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 remix, right? And you know how Beyonce is like, boy, I know you want me, I can see it in your eyes, right? I mean, not in that tone, but
I got you.
I heard that
Don't have me produce you, girl.
you
next in
can make
line.
me sound like Beyonce though.
I make you sound like you, baby.
Okay, now come on now. Stuff on the production can go
Jones.
wrong. Look,
Tobago.
I do have an alter ego. However, somebody I think one of our listeners told me to ask you about this, right? That they saw you talk about a story how when she did No 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 the remix, she was actually upset with you when she did that. Is that true or not?
No, not at all.
No?
No, not at all. I got the call from Sony, and Destiny Child was they was trying to figure out how they gonna break the group because they had the record and it was just not moving. And they was like, yo, the original. And they was like, yo,
The mid-tempo.
they was like, yo, call up this Haitian kid. Like, he got this album called A Carnival. He a weirdo. Like, he a scientist.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, because, you know, it's like, cause I'm like a thug nerd. You feel me? Like, I'm in my studio all the time. I'm just not into nothing.
Okay.
Like, I'm just into think about it. Carnival got 4 languages, so you know I was bonkers.
Right.
So
That was a wild
but I was
album.
like, yo,
That's a
the dude
creative.
got the thing with him. So, product manager Stephanie Gell was like, yo, I need you to go see these 4 girls. I gotta leave the studio, and I went, and they was like, what do you want me? So I said, yo, sing a church song. Cause my daddy a minister, I'm straight from the church,
Right.
and
Preacher's son.
and the preacher's son, and then they sang, and then Beyonce started belting it, and then I was in, and when I was in, so I was watching an interview where Jay-Z said the first time he heard Beyonce was on the record Wyclef did, and he heard her rhyming fast,
Yeah.
because she was like papa tapa doo po po po, right? So that was a style that I created for them, because at the end of the day, the only person I had with the singing rhyming style was Lauryn. Other than Lauryn, it didn't exist. So
true.
what I did was, then I knew they was from Texas. So, and a lot of times, the rappers that I was hearing from Texas was rhyming double tone. So there was double rhythm. The whole thing was like "Takadoo, the original trap, like before long. So, and if you go back now, you hear hey, you hear see what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So that's what I was on then. So we went in the studio when I went down to Texas. We recorded it, and after that, I put them on tour with me. So Destiny Child was opening up for me, and every day I would go off. If Beyonce's listening, Beyonce was on the side of the stage watching the show, because I mean, you know, when I perform, it's like watching a preacher
it's
right from the
wild.
revival. And I was like, this person is different, because you know the artists, they would get up and they'd be like out.
Yeah.
But when you see an artist is watching you
Studying.
and she's studying, so from a youth, I was like, yo, this one is really studying the culture, and that just explains why she just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So if anything, that rhyming singing style, I created it because the only other person I had doing that was Lauryn.
Wow.
I just want to say too, as a performer, you are like easily top 3 of my favorites. And I was just saying that, like, I seen you mad times, and I just want to bring up, since you went to Howard,
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up a Howard homecoming here. I was working at Dream nightclub at the time,
Oh, Dream, man.
and
Mob that place.
yo, you had your had your guitar, and you walked from the stage onto the bar.
Yeah.
All the way to the back, because you said, can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? Because they couldn't see you in the back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you said, oh no, I'm coming back there.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how you got up there. And I remember me and Mark were like, is he about, he's not about to climb. Oh, he's on the bar. Okay.
Is he going to be okay up on the bar?
That was an amazing, I was like, yo.
No,
And-
thank you, my bro.
Nah, that was an amazing show, just to see that, and because every time I seen before that was like Smoking Grooves tour,
Yeah.
you Cypress Hill, different people. So to see that in person was incredible.
No, it's love. I mean, I take that stuff so serious. I mean, I was with Quincy, and we was in Quincy Jones was in Montrose Jazz Festival, and Quincy said something to me similar. He was like, yo, you know, it's like you, Prince, and Michael, right? And if you never like really seen a Wyclef show, I got inspired by Prince, right? I got a chance to jam with Prince. And so like my show, if anybody was at my show, they would see I do a one-man show where I'm playing all the instruments, just like Prince, like a straight. And I got inspired by like watching Prince. Prince would play a stadium, and then he would show up in a nightclub, right?
Wow.
Where literally there's like 150 people, and he show up like, man, 1:30 in the morning. Say, yo, let's plug the guitar, let's plug up it.
Go crazy.
And then he goes into this 4-hour jam thing. And I always was like, yo, what's going on? And one thing I learned from Prince is like, the arenas, none of that matter. He said, when you can rock the small bar, he said, because those people don't give a F. They came to drink, they came to chill.
Right.
Yeah.
You ain't making them no money. They don't give a hooch about you.
Yeah.
He said, but if you get them to react, he said, then you know you still got it. So for me, I always take like my art serious. So like, it's not like I wake up as much as I'm going to do a pull-up or I'm going to hit the bench. I'd be like, okay, what am I learning today on drums? What am I learning on guitar? So I always tell kids, you know what I mean? You have to be a performer, because if you don't do that, you're going to have these joints. And once the joint is not hot no more,
Right.
nobody going to show up, because they're going to be like, okay, well, your joint on the radio. But if you got a joint that's on the radio and they show up and you kill it, they gonna show up the next time
because they like that you're a
They
performer. We like performers.
Yeah, so I always tell the youth it's very important when you watch Beyonce. You say, man, that's like a performer. It's no joke. You know what I mean? With me, no, I don't need no lights, no nothing. Like when I show up, I don't need no trick screens. Like I will give you like
Guitar
2.5 hours
yeah.
of just mayhem.
Yo,
You know what I mean?
that's what he. Yo,
Church.
that was,
That's how it goes.
Church.
is that who's like a top performer for you?
Yeah.
Man, Prince, like, because that was the guy I got a chance to jam with Prince. I watched Prince, you know what I'm saying to you, Prince, Michael Jackson. Like, I watched Mike. So me and Mike was sitting like this, you know what I'm saying? So I watched Mike because I had a question for Michael because, and then I got to see James Brown too. And so I was like, there was something about Michael Jackson and James Brown that I found fascinating, and I wanted to ask the question because Prince, I could relate more because if I see him playing the bass, I could physically pick up a bass and play it. I'm on the drums. I said, let me learn this Bach piece. But with Mike and James Brown, I was fascinated. I said, yo, these dudes, they doing all, they're looking at the musicians and the bass line is coming straight from their head.
Right.
They don't have no instruments in their hands.
Right.
But they telling the bass dude, this is the sound. And they go to the trumpet, they like, this the sound. This is so when I was in the studio, that was my question for Michael, because I was dying to fully get this. You know what I mean? And dude was like, he said, Clef, the orchestra live in my head. And that's like James Brown, because James Brown will tell you, I don't need to play nothing. It's in my head. I know exactly what the horn's supposed to sound like.
Right.
So that helped me understand that you always got to better your craft, because even when you bring musicians around, they got to feel like, oh, they playing with the best, so they got to give you their best. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, man. Wyclef, let me ask too, man. You know, is there a performer like from right now that you're feeling outside of like, you know, your Beyonce, but is there anybody right now that you've been able to see where you were like, man, that's really impressive? Has anybody impressed you?
Yeah, definitely. I was with my daughter.
Okay.
And all her friends. We went to the Migos and Drake concert.
Okay, that's coming. That's about to be here this week, Wednesday.
So I don't want to spoil it for nobody.
Okay.
But now, big shout out to Drake, you know what I'm saying to you. Big shout out to the Migos. You know, when I first met Drake, he held me real tight. I had the foundation here in Haiti. He was like, yo, anything you need. It touched me when I looked online and saw Drake doing my verse to Ready or Not. I think he was barely 14 years old. So I remember when Drake got signed, right? And I watched the artist development. I watched the artist development, and I clearly that was one of the best shows that I've been to in this millennium, right? Wow. Because what happened is, what makes you a great performer is you're an entertainer, and you don't lose the crowd. And what I loved about the Drake and the Migos show, I mean, when it comes to Migos, when I'm looking at Migos, it's like I'm looking at George Clinton. It's almost like, because you got to be able, I could channel all them energies, and I'm like, yo, these dudes are like P-Funk. Like, it's just a different thing. Like, that tuner is like Roger Troutman. You know, you just got to understand the frequency. And it's a big stage. And, yo, it's like, what, 18,000 people there. Drake made you feel like you was the only person he was talking to. Now, when an entertainer can do that, that's a different thing. And then he's like, yo, you know, I'm 10 years in. And then now when you see an artist is 10 years in, this is what you have. You have an artist. So at the end of the day, can you imagine, like, from the era I came from? How many of us is really still around to be able to talk, and a young kid don't go, man, stop telling us these Vietnam stories, man. We don't do that stuff no more. So for me, I would say I was very amazed. As far as like females, SZA.
SZA is awesome.
Incredible. And her, you know her?
Her is awesome.
Okay, now
we
let
love
me
her.
tell
She's
you,
at our Kids Fest.
Her is something else.
Like,
she's special.
She's special.
She's another one. So once again, you have all of this new right? But it's new, but it's old to me because like when I look at her, it's like I see when I listen to SZA, you know, I see like Drake or Migos. I understand that. It's like I'm like, okay, Migos, okay, then I go back home, I be like, okay, listen to Das Effects. So I play my daughter Das Effects. Bum skibby the bum and it ain't like Migos trying to be Das Effects.
Yeah.
It's just that when I say there's nothing new under the sun, there's nothing new under the sun. But I tell dudes that's from my era, stop complaining. Like, don't be like, yo, the kids ain't doing music, they doing mumble rap, right? Because you start to sound crazy. Because if you really from a hip hop era, you knew our era. We had whack MCs, we had dope MCs.
Definitely.
We had slackness, we had party music. We had conscious, this is what makes the culture so rich, you know what I'm saying? And hip hop is supposed to be entertaining, you know what I mean? So don't complain, bar up with them. Show them like, yo, y'all doing it like this, but we do it like that. And that's what we're doing with Wyclef Goes Back to School, putting two cultures together.
Yeah, I love it. Wyclef Goes Back to School. Speaking of which, though, you know, I can't leave without talking Lauryn Hill, and that's because she is, for our generation, at least my generation, like I remember listening to like the miseducation of Lauryn Hill and the schooling that she gave us as young women, in a sense that I still listen to, right? But now we're at a place where, you know, I've tried to see, actually I still go see her, but like I see all the things, the criticism now that so many people say about her and things of that nature. What happens over time as an artist where, you know, it's like, not to say the connection is being lost, but it's like I saw the other day a message that said Lauryn Hill just arrived to Aretha Franklin's funeral, or like they talk about, oh, she's late to performances, and you know, it's like we're losing or missing out on the appreciation of the art that she gave, you know, that people still talk about to this day. You know, what happens as far as like the artists and being able to just, I guess, keep your audience and keep the people that have grown with you, you know, because like you said, people still, no matter what, no matter how long you go, like we can talk the score, we could talk anything, like
on reality.
I mean, it's like it's still very much so relevant today, but you know, just constantly being able to feed your audience and not lose them, even though, because you grow. Like the thing is, I think as artists, you grow in your personal life too, right? And you're not probably the same Clef you were 20 years ago.
For sure.
But people like capture you in that moment, though. They want you to still be that, and I think a lot of people want a Lauryn to still be what we remember, you know, years ago. And at this point, her son's had a kid. You know, she's a grandmother now. So it's like, I guess, what is it like just for evolving, that evolution, right? Because you evolve as a person, you evolve as an artist, and but your audience tends to kind of want you to stay that person they remember when they first like got your cassette, or I still remember when I heard Ready or Not. I remember watching the video on the box, you know, and what that meant. So it's like, you know, what do you say, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I think you actually answered it by saying that you want the artist to stay in a space. So you want them to stay forever Benjamin Button, right? So now what happens is the artist comes out and kills it and is appreciated.
Yes.
Then you're gonna have an artist that's gonna go through a rough period, right? And within this rough period, because you have put them in a space of myth, like there's a reality clause here where you forget that they're actually human and actually what they're going through. Like you said, she's a grandmother now, right? So actually what they're going through, you're not worried about that because you want what you want real time. And then when the artist dies, then you glorify the artist again for the greatness, right? I watched it happen with Michael Jackson. I mean, so Michael was dope. Everybody said he was dope. And then next thing you know, it's the worst thing. Like everybody coming at Michael, the memes and everything, terrible. Kill. And then the minute Michael dies, Michael is a big hero. So I just think that it's just important for us to understand that the artist is not gods. They're not God. At the end of the day, you know who else I watched it happen to? Nina Simone. So once again, Nina Simone songs is in James Bond movies now.
Yeah.
Anything you need to go to, it's the Nina Simone. But if I was to pull you articles of Nina Simone last like 6 years of her life,
It was
like
bad.
you'd be like, yo, man, this public was
Yeah,
ruthless.
they were going in
And
on her. I
they
remember.
going in, but so for me, it's like I always say that the public will never give you a pass. The reason why the public will never give you a pass is exactly what you said. Like, this is why Clef, like, in your head, this is like, you know, how many mics do we rip under the leg? It don't matter if Wyclef done try to become president of Haiti. That's good, Wyclef, but how many mics do we rip under the leg? And then as history shapes itself up, long after we gone, it's gonna shape Lauryn in the same place where Michael Jackson, Nina Simone, Aretha Franklin, and all of them are. Because long after we gone, the next generation will not get all of this filter that we going. They ain't gonna see her showing up late, right? They ain't gonna see everything that you see. All they're gonna see is the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the best way, like, I can answer it. You like, Lauryn, don't be late for the next
Well,
show.
look, the shows I went to, she wasn't late. So I mean,
Oh, yes, she
saw-
was.
Okay, we went to one. It was one at Merriweather Post Pavilion where she was. Yeah, but
The
outside
whole
of that
Wu-Tang
one-
was there before she was there. But
Well, yeah, yeah, agree. But the other shows I went to, like she
the
came
Wu-Tang?
to the whole
whole-
Wu-Tang was there. Yeah, just,
it was crazy.
Everybody was there.
Like,
but you
that's a whole
know,
nother
we did like
conversation.
Warner Theater. She did like a smaller venue. It was just her. It was incredible. She came for Howard Theater, Howard Homecoming even, and she even did Unplugged, which is my other favorite from her. And she was doing Unplugged, and it was like time. She's somebody I will wait for, but it also hurts me when I see like how everybody talks about, because I'm like, yo, this is the God. I know I'm not supposed to look at her like that, but she's the God. You know, she is one of the first, when I remember just women at that time, the empowerment that she gave when you, as a woman, listening to her, and that ability to go from from singing to rapping to singing
But
again.
because you feel
Like
like
real
that,
MC.
because you feel like that
Yeah.
is the reason why she can't do no wrong in your eyes, right?
Right.
Because you're part of what I'm talking about. So in the future, what the kids are going to be amazed by is what you're saying,
Yeah.
the women empowerment, the music of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as we moving real time, right, you're just going to get this, you know what I mean? And I always say to an artist, like, if you're coming, I tell Jazzy this, I said, look, you coming into this, the first couple of years, once it goes, because it's going to go.
Yeah.
And when it goes, it's going to move crazy. And as it moves crazy, your head's going to spin so fast that by the time you figured out the success, you're going to be on to your next project.
Yeah.
And this is when it gets tricky. The crowd literally, once they put you in that God space, like you show up, like it's almost like if you showed up and you was like, yo, man, top 3 performers in my head,
Right.
Wyclef Jean. God forbid Wyclef Jean show up one day and have a bad night, and the whole guitar's off key, and somebody slip on an edible.
sick.
That's
Slipped
that's
on an
risk. You
edible.
know what I mean? So,
You sick, you coming off-
someone please call
I'm
911.
like,
Be
what
like, yo,
was that, Clef?
Wyclef, exactly. What was that, Wyclef?
What happened? I'm gonna still give you another chance though, because I know what you can do.
Now,
Hey, Clef,
now
go ahead.
production wise though, when it came to albums, like all your projects, was there like each one did it feel like a different process? Like was the process different for each album? Because I felt like Fuji's on to your solo projects, they all felt like you created differently. Blunted sound nothing like the score sounded nothing like Carnival 1 sound nothing like 2. Two Sides sounded nothing like nothing, none of them. So I always wonder that.
So in my brain, right, my brain don't register when someone says country music. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
When someone says reggae,
Genre based, you don't
right,
understand that concept.
I don't understand genre.
Okay, I
So my
understand.
brain, it just understands music. So whether if it's Bach or Jay-Z or Fela Kuti, when my brain hears
Fela.
it, you know, or like Devil Went Down to Georgia, Charlie Daniels, like it all just registers as music. So being that it's so, it's like I had a trivia question when I performed. and I said it was what for $3,000 yesterday, and it was in New York. Was in New York, and I started at 100, and it got to 3,000, and I said, look, what was Wyclef listening to at the projects at 14 years old? I said, look, it ain't rigged. The DJ got the record right there. I was going through the crowd. We started at 100. When by the time we got to 3,000, somebody guessed it right, and they said Nirvana, and they was right.
Wow.
And at the end of the day,
That's crazy.
I just live in
Nirvana.
a space that when I heard Kurt Cobain, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of dope. I could do that. And then so for me, I never, even like when you hear, this is why I like Kanye West production so much. It's like it's never, like you should never limit yourself. Like someone can't tell you, like, after this project, like my next project is a country project. I'm doing in Nashville. Dudes be like, yo, what do you know about country? I said, dog, like Caribbean people, like we was raised with country music.
And
And
a lot
then,
of country chorus too that you do though.
exactly,
A lot
but
of
being in
country.
the church and all of
Yeah,
that.
I'm about to say.
Yeah, so
Folks
for
don't
me,
just yeah.
so I always tell people, like, in this music business, the only thing that limits you is yourself. So don't do that. So that's how every project I never, like when you hear the new project, literally what I did was took 1996, 97, and I said, oh, we're in 2018. What are the plugins? Oh, this is Fruit Loops. Let's download Fruit Loops onto the MPC. Oh, these are the sine waves. That's, what happens when you put that fusion together? Now you get a completely different sound. You know what I mean?
I love it. We're going back to school with Wyclef. Before I let you go, though,
Bye-bye.
I do want to ask too about your political. You've always been involved politically, as far as like with your home, with Haiti, and in general. Can we, with midterm elections coming up, with people needing to be, basically needing to vote, or you have all these initiatives to get people to vote. What are your thoughts politically? Would you ever want to run again, or have you ever thought about, just do you continue to be politically involved, even from home, or just
Yeah,
here?
I think the word is more like socially involved, right? Because politics is something that I don't think we want to get into. Like it's something that, like you get pulled into it, right? But the idea of public service to me is natural. So sometimes when a tricky politician that says, "Look, I'm a politician," and the idea is public service, and then the words sometimes don't go with each other.
Agreed.
So I will always be, a public servant. I'm always going to do that because at the end of the day, I was raised in the church, and the idea of people not having, I'll constantly be able to help. But you got to understand, in this lifetime, in your generation, and this, when you hear records like Impeach the President, as far as like, Rakim, different records, right? This is why I actually ran to become president of a country. And they try to give me a modern day lynching. Because what happens is, coming from where I come from, in Haiti and these islands, and even when you look at parts of the United States of America, these rural areas, these places are basically set up by design for failed policies so that somebody else could make money while we ruin. You know what I mean? So what I always encourage people in the neighborhoods to do, right? Because dudes be like, yo, I'm from the project. I said, man, I'm from the hut, dog. Like, you have bricks, dog. I ain't had no bricks. Like, when it rained, you know what I'm saying? We took part of that. You know what I mean? Dudes be like, yo, yeah, I hear what you saying, man. We had, like, cereal and water, dog. That's the struggle. I said, yeah, I ate dirt, nigga. Red dirt. I ate that dirt on the floor. So at the end of the day, when I got to the United States, I was like, yo, this is really the land of the opportunity. So I tell everybody, I don't think people in the projects really understand their power. And I need y'all to understand your power and really take your power, man. Like within the rural areas, your power is so powerful that they use y'all when they want to get elected. So at the end of the day, these midterm elections are very important. Know who you're going to vote for. Like really in my family, it's a healthy debate. We have Democrats, we have Republicans, we have independents. And why not?
Right.
And then we got people who be like, I don't want to have nothing to do with none of that. And that's what makes the world beautiful.
Yeah.
But the idea of public service and helping them always do that.
Nice. Yeah. And I always tell people we should all go visit Haiti. I've my old hairdresser, she was from Haiti, and she would tell me all the stories of it and how beautiful the beaches and
It's
the water
insane.
are.
White beach sand, sexy. And it's so crazy because you look at the press and they'll be like, don't go to Haiti.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then when the same people who telling you that,
Yeah.
go take a plane. You know where they at? They chilling on the beach with a pina colada. But they
In
don't want
Haiti.
you on that beach in Haiti. You know what I'm saying?
telling you don't go there.
Don't go.
It's all bad, but hey, we should definitely take a trip. Well, Clef, thank you again so much for spending time. I know we took about a lot more time than I expected.
It's all good.
Money, you had anything else?
I'm good. Thank you.
Hey,
man.
listen,
Thank you
one
so
more
much.
time on the new project.
You already know, man. Wyclef Goes Back to School. It's going to be incredible coming out in October.
Nice.
Right now, we're pushing Jazzy Amra. The song is called
Yeah,
You Got
Jazzy.
Me. And Jazzy's working on so much music right now. I really think that y'all going to be really happy. For me to see like a young 20-year-old like bringing R&B back in a way. Like the minute y'all hear that record, I think You Got Me. It's gonna put that space because, like I said, I love her, I love SZA, I love all of that, and it's good. I love it to see this generation like on that. So look out for that. And then Wyclef Goes Back to School. Remember, I am barring up with the kids, so it's gonna be funny. It's going to be like crazy,
There'll be
like
some
you know
skits
what I mean?
in there.
It's going to be when I tell you, but it's crazy because this generation is like spitting so fast, like everything is you know what I mean? So I had to get my bar speed up.
you had to get your bars up, get the bar speed up. And I heard you use a lot of college people. I got an organization called College is Cool. So you used a lot of college students on this, or
Of course.
that was the
And-
initiative?
Okay. I have a question for you, actually.
Okay.
I actually did. And is there a college student that, if you was to give a shot with your organization right now and everything that you're doing, if you was to pick one student that you would say, Clef, this why Clef Goes Back to School mixtape, we need this person, right? Because the mixtape ain't only gonna have, it's like college students gonna be part of a project with famous people and the productions and everything. So if you, like out of your joint, if I was to say to you, is there one student, right? And even if you can't think of one student now, what we can do is, because once you said that program, the program definitely touched
Yes,
me.
college
And-
is cool.
Yeah, and in DC,
Yeah. Yeah.
what Howard, for example, did for me, performing there.
Yeah.
Maxwell, like Maxwell can't front. We always there. Maxwell
Yes.
had the fro.
Yes.
What that did for us, right? We ain't had the social media, the amount of talent that was there. So if you feel there's someone, it could be a singer, a sax player, that you feel is worthy that I should give a listen to.
Yeah.
Before the tape is finished, because I'm like Kanye, the tape's never finished.
It's not that. Okay, so we got a
Especially
shot.
now, especially
No,
now.
it's like,
We got a
you
chance.
can mix it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if there's someone you think I should be hearing,
Okay.
I would
Okay.
love to hear the person.
Okay.
Pressure is on,
so
Angie.
it's the pressure's
The
on, but
pressure's
you know
on.
what? I have people in mind, but I feel like because this would be such a major opportunity, I need to do something where we bring together not just my alma mater. I know everybody think I am partial to Howard always, but we do at Bowie State. We have University of Maryland. We
Yes,
have
George
so
Washington.
many colleges: George Washington, Georgetown, American. There's so many colleges out here, so I would love to maybe try to give everyone an opportunity.
You know what we did, and it's not
And-
easy, right? Because think about how I had to narrow the talent down. Remember
yeah,
I was telling
yeah.
you about the producers thing?
Yeah.
So it's not easy, right?
Yeah.
But what happens is you have to look at it like this. There's a billion people doing this.
True.
So if you was to give one person a shot, right? Because this is NBA we talking about.
Okay.
So who's because you got to have a draft pick and be like, yo,
Yeah.
this little, and as we talking, there's a Serena somewhere.
Agreed.
there's a LeBron somewhere. There's
Great.
so that probably singing or whatever.
Yep.
So
I
find
got
that
like,
person.
Oh no,
for me.
I got like 2 or 3. I
Wow,
got 2 or 3.
that's big.
Off top of my head.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they still in college though. I know one of them. Where's Alex Vaughn, yo? I feel like she went out to
Oh, yeah.
L.A. and left us, yo. I'm not
Alex
sure.
was
Should have
crazy.
told her she
I
should have
know,
stayed
look.
in college. Yo.
Yo,
shit.
y'all can't be leaving school. You got opportunity,
see,
yo.
see.
But yeah, I know like 3 off the top of my head that would be great. That are really working hard. But now that we know the mixtape's not done,
Oh,
we
yeah.
about to slide.
Now it ain't even a mixtape. It's just called
I'm
Wyclef
saying
Goes
a
Back to
mixtape,
School.
right.
It started as a mixtape,
Uh.
but the music is coming out so good.
Nice.
And so raw. You like, hold up. Like in history, you just got to be like Wyclef Goes Back to School. Like
Wyclef Goes
it just
Back to
gotta
School.
be a project.
The project, yes.
So I look forward to your 3 people.
My
see
3,
who you gonna
and
rock.
we're gonna see.
Yeah.
All right, there it is. Wyclef Goes Back to School. Yeah, 93.9 WKYS, Angie Ange Morning Show. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you for
Jazzy,
having
thank you
me.
as
Thank
well.
you,
Thank
Jazzy.
you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got work to do.
Yeah.
Money, you might
I
have to
got
drop
you.
the beat. Money
All right,
make
I
the
got
beat,
it.
yo.
You know when this feeling right, right,